The moment she stepped out of the front door, her words lingered in the air like a half-formed lie. "I'll be back soon." She smiled, her keys jingling in rhythm with her confidence, and I felt a strange emptiness tighten around my chest. Something in her voice, too casual, too practiced, made my stomach twist. I told her almost without thinking, "No need. Nothing awaits you here." The shock of my own words hung between us. She paused as if startled by their coldness, and for a split second, the light in her eyes flickered. But then, just as quickly, she shrugged and walked away, leaving me alone in the quiet house we had built together. I should have felt anger or fear or even confusion. But all I felt was an overwhelming sense of exhaustion, like I had been waiting for this moment all along, and now it had finally arrived. We had been married for 7 years. 7 years of routine, of comfort, of little gestures that once seemed meaningful. Coffee in the mornings, soft laughter on the weekends, stolen kisses in the kitchen when no one else was around. I had thought trust was the foundation of us. I had been wrong. The first inkling came weeks ago, small things that slipped through the cracks. A text message she left open on the kitchen counter, a fragrance I didn't recognize, her sudden defensiveness whenever I asked simple questions. First I tried to dismiss it. Paranoia, I told myself. I'm imagining things. But that night, the night she said she'd be back soon, I knew better. I didn't follow her right away. I stayed put, pacing the empty living room, listening to the clock tick like a slow drum inside my skull. Then my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Don't worry about her. She'll be with me tonight." My hands shook as I read it. The words didn't scream betrayal. They whispered it, venom hidden beneath a calm surface. I stared at the screen, trying to make sense of it. My mind raced, and then clarity hit me with the force of a hammer. She had been seeing someone else. I wanted to confront her, yell, beg, cry. But the truth settled over me like a heavy winter fog. Confrontation wasn't necessary. The facade had already crumbled. I drove. My car moved without conscious thought, guided by a mix of instinct and heartbreak. Every streetlight flickered like a warning as I traced her steps, each mile a knot tightening in my chest. She wasn't at a friend's house, wasn't at some mundane errand. No, this was something more deliberate, more personal. When I arrived, my heart sank. The scene wasn't dramatic. No shouting, no crashing doors. Just her laughter, the soft, intimate kind, spilling from a small cafe that had long since closed its doors for the night. And there he was. A man I had never met, but instantly despised. He was leaning close to her, his hand brushing hers in a way that made my skin crawl. She didn't notice me at first, her attention absorbed, her smile unguarded. It was a smile I had once cherished, reserved for me alone. And now it was offered freely to him. I wanted to step forward, demand explanations, unravel her carefully constructed world. But something stopped me. Watching her, I realized I didn't want her explanations. I didn't want her apologies. I wanted her gone. The next morning, she came home as if nothing had changed. She carried groceries, humming softly, the smell of her perfume a cruel reminder of what I had seen. She kissed my cheek, a casual gesture, and asked if I slept well. I looked at her, really looked, and for the first time I saw her not as my wife but as a stranger who had shared my life, my home, my love with someone else. My voice was calm, eerily calm. "I didn't sleep," I said. "Not that it matters. You have your life. I have mine." Her smile faltered. "What are you talking about?" I let a small laugh escape me, one of disbelief, sorrow, and quiet fury. "Don't play dumb. Don't act like you didn't choose this. I've seen enough to know there's nothing left for me here." She opened her mouth, and I could see the words forming, excuses, lies, promises of how it wasn't what it looked like. Cut her off. Don't. Save it. I don't want it, I don't need it. I want you out of my life. Her eyes filled with shock, hurt, and anger, a complex cocktail that I had once found intoxicating. But now I didn't care. The following days were a blur of logistics and icy silences. I changed passwords, notified banks, and began quietly separating our lives. Each decision was methodical, deliberate. She called repeatedly, left notes, tried to charm me back, but I remained unmoved. The betrayal was too deep, the wound too raw. I began to notice the small things, the remnants of her presence that had once been comforting but now only reminded me of loss. The mug she always left in the sink, the blanket she favored on the couch, the way her shoes sat neatly by the door. I removed them, one by one, as if erasing her from my reality could heal the hole she had left behind. One evening she confronted me. Standing in the doorway, she looked as if she were pleading, desperate to salvage something, anything. "Please," she whispered, her voice breaking. "We can fix this. I made a mistake. It meant nothing." I studied her. Every nuance, every inflection. I remembered the mornings when her hair fell over her shoulder as she sipped her coffee, the nights we stayed up talking about nothing and everything, the way she had held my hand when life felt unbearable. And I realized, I had loved her too much to let her betrayal destroy me, but not enough to forgive it. I stepped closer, my words quiet but sharp. "You made your choice. You lived your lie. Lived mine. But this," I gestured around the house, our home, "this isn't yours anymore. Not for me." Tears streamed down her face, but I didn't flinch. Her pain was a consequence of her actions, not mine to bear. Weeks later, the silence of the house became a strange comfort. I moved through it with careful precision, each room a testament to survival. I discovered something unexpected. A sense of clarity. Without the pretense of our marriage, I could breathe again, think again, be myself. Friends noticed the change. They asked if I was okay, if I had confronted her, if I missed her. I smiled politely and said yes, yes, yes. But inside, I knew the truth. It wasn't reconciliation that mattered. It was freedom. And yet, there were nights when I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by memories. Her laughter, her touch, the way she once made me feel invincible. All of it lingered like a ghost I couldn't exorcise. Pain, I realized, is never neat or contained. It seeps in, shaping you, carving out new spaces in your heart. Months passed. I rebuilt, slowly, cautiously. I dated, tentatively, afraid of repeating old mistakes, but also yearning for connection. And in those moments, fleeting as they were, I understood something vital. Betrayal is not the end of love. It is a brutal teacher of resilience, a mirror reflecting what we are willing to endure and how we choose to move forward. I never sought revenge. There was no confrontation, no grand gesture, no dramatic reveal. She had already undone herself. And in her absence, I discovered my own strength, my own capacity to survive and even thrive. The final time I saw her, she passed by my street in a car I didn't recognize. Her eyes met mine briefly, a flicker of recognition, of something unspoken. I nodded once, politely, without warmth, without bitterness. Nothing remained between us but a shared history, a series of fragile memories that no longer had the power to wound me. I whispered to myself as she disappeared from view, "Nothing awaits you here." And for the first time since that night, I meant it. Betrayal had shattered the illusion of our life together, but in its ruins, I found something stronger than love, stronger than pain, myself.